やってすぐ忘れる。嘘つき。
Characters that get transferred to another world is what people like to call Isekai, a genre so popular that so many just can't get enough, and what's more exciting is that if those Isekai series had an overpowered protagonist to simply just spicing things up during intense moments, and that is why in today's video, I'll be covering 10 overpowered anime characters that go to another world. So, if you're new around here, then please make sure you're subscribed to the channel with the notifications bell icon turned on to stay up to date with the latest anime news and recommendations right at your doorstep. Now, without keeping you all waiting, let us begin with the video. So why don't we kick this list off with an anime series called Spirit Chronicles. Now this is quite the recent isekai that aired not long ago, which follows the process of reincarnation. Now like many other isekai series start, a character gets killed to then reincarnate into a different body and a world never seen before. Spirit Chronicles is actually a really enjoyable series that I never expected to like, and while it may hold the title of being generic like many isekai anime, I actually found myself invested heavily into the story, the characters, and the progression towards this anime actually getting a second season very soon. Now up next is an anime series called The Fruits of Evolution. This is an anime that had an entire class from a school get isekai to a fantasy world, but it also has a protagonist who often gets bullied for looking, well, let's just say out of shape or not popular as everyone else. Now, based on the title of the series itself, being, a fruit of evolution, the protagonist finds one of these fruits that transform him into a completely different being, granting him special abilities and powers that allow him to level up rapidly, which caused him to become more powerful enough to beat stronger enemies. Now, art or animation may not be the best, but story-wise, I think you all will find it very entertaining. Problem children are coming from another world, aren't they? Now, this is probably one of the more underrated selections for an isekai, and it's actually really damn good. It aired back in 2013 and was quite popular back in the days, but, as time goes by, like many other series, it just doesn't really get talked about at all. And what makes this anime great is not just its powerful protagonist from another world, but also its clever way of telling the story. Now go ahead and enjoy characters from another world use their powers to make their wishes come true. Now, how about this? If you like the idea of a professional wrestler being isekai to another world and beat down and, being in a fantasy world, then Kimono Michi Rise Up is definitely something you should check out. Kimono Michi follows a pro wrestler summoned as a hero to defeat the Demon Lord and defeat creatures, but unfortunately due to his strong love for animals and such, he will allow no one at all to insult them or, his biggest wish, which is to open up his very own pet shop. Now that doesn't mean wrestling is out of the book, because there is plenty of action, of epic action that takes place, and also some cool German suplexes, takedowns that you definitely do not want to miss out on. Next up on the list is Outbreak Company, and while it may not have, the strongest premise of a powerful protagonist, but his job is to pretty much spread the otaku culture and teach others about what it's like to become a weeb, and to do that, he must overcome many challenges along his way, such as politics, social classes, and ethnic discrimination in order to spread otaku culture. He's not alone on this mission, of course, since he has the help of a few of his friends to fight by his side and clear dangerous paths for him to achieve his goal. Buckle up, because it's gonna be one epic ride. Up next on the list is an anime series that took the community by a huge surprise by how good it actually is. And I'm talking about the one and only Ya Boy Kongming.
水でも飲んで落ち着きなよ。
これはセミの抜け殻のような。
ペットボトル。
英子さん、あの長い針と短い針が動くものはどのような意味が。
時計だよ。
This is actually a reincarnation series of a Japanese war strategist or a tactician, professional at his job and is able to pretty much implement tactics enemies really aren't familiar with to always win the battle. But one day, he wished to die in peace and reincarnate into a new era, an era he was not expecting where music was such a popular thing.
ジントニックと大切りでお待ちのお客様、マッキーニとバカルディでお待ちのお客様、ソルティドッグとジントニック、税込みで1700円になります。カードでかしこまりました。
あんた本当に初めて。
This is probably one of the most unique series of combining music and history together to create such great visuals and ideas to make an anime like this. Now, if you are looking for entertainment and laughs, then this is something you should definitely consider watching.
ようこそグリムガルへ。ここはオルタナの町よ。歓迎するわ、子猫ちゃんたち。
Grimgar is most likely one of the most realistic isekai anime you will ever find, as it's an anime where no one is overpowered or even good on their own. It teaches us, about teamwork and accomplish many hardships in the path of these characters to try and fight a variety of mobs and search for a way back home from this fantasy world. Now, the characters will face a lot of sadness and sorrow due to their actions and find a way back on their feet through effort and teamwork. This is a great isekai I think you all should try out.
珍しいね。見習い義勇兵が最初の職業に盗賊を選ぶなんて。
While this anime may or may not be the greatest isekai I've ever seen, nor is it that bad, but a lot of anime out there deserve its chance, and that is why I'm going to be recommending a series called Death March. A gamer programmer named Sato was isekai to a game he is working on and instantly gained so much power to the point where he was able to maximize all his stats in the very first episode. Now, as generic as that may sound, a lot of isekai tend to have powerful protagonists, and Death March really is not any different. Though if you like the addition of some harem aspects and an intelligent main character, then you should definitely check out Death March.
こう見えて俺って丈夫なのがとり。
Now, I'm sure many of you are very familiar with one of the most popular and best isekai out there currently, and that is ReZero. Now, the protagonist Subaru is not really any special nor very overpowered, but he does have one skill that allows him to repeat from a certain point after he dies and redo his choice again until he gets what he wants, and that is returned by death. He gets isekai to this fantasy world where he gets saved by a girl named Emilia, where Subaru offered to help her in search for the one who stole her insignia. But of course, this series, I forgot to mention, is very dark and quite unforgivable because this will somewhat get very bloody. And finally on this list we have is an anime series called The Ones Within.
Oh, さすがにちょっと悪趣味じゃねえかい。
This is an interesting series where a group of pro gamers get kidnapped and taken to a strange place that feels different from reality. Now, each character actually specializes and are strong in different games like fighting games, puzzle games, and so on and so forth. They all must work together using their strengths to solve a variety of game levels given to them in order to clear this mess given to them by a mysterious llama that is very much acts like Monokuma from Danganronpa. If anything, this anime is actually quite similar to Danganronpa, which you all might take a liking to.
何回だと思ってんだ暁
Well, it looks like your isekai adventure has now come to an end, and it's time for you, my friend, to return to the real world and suffer like everyone else. But if I've managed to leave any anime in particular that you thought would be a great addition on the list, then let me know in the comment section down below, as I'd love to hear your opinion, or just comment down below what you thought about the video in general, as I'd always appreciate the feedback on my videos. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next one.